Well, welcome. And here we are with another artist for Music for the Mind, Brittany McQuinn. Welcome, Brittany.
Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We love having you. So we're here tonight and we're doing another artist interview for our CD called Music for the Mind. And Music for the Mind is a project by the Canadian Mental Health Association that we've been embarked on about a year ago, where we wanted to connect with artists, musicians, songwriters, or even just people that want to put their thoughts on paper and maybe make some music out of it. So we put out the call across New Brunswick, and we had so many entries come in, like mental health and music I think almost go hand in hand, and it was very tough to choose some of the songs that we wanted to feature on our album, but we narrowed it down and we chose 12. And Brittany, thank you for entering. And we want tonight to do a little bit of an interview, and Bob Mersereau has agreed to come on board and be our interviewer. And Bob is quite well known on the music industry here in New Brunswick, and he's written several books on Canadian music, including the bestseller, The Top 100 Canadian Music. So when we were thinking about who could we enlist to help us with these interviews, Mr. Music for New Brunswick was a popular choice for sure. So, Bob, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll swing it on over to you and Brittany.
All right, thanks, Lori. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lori.
Really happy to be part. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. So look, you're already a well-known person on the music scene in New Brunswick, but COVID's kind of thrown a wrench at everybody this year. But where just tell us where you stand, what things you're up to these days, where everything's
What's going on, right? How do you kind of keep moving in a pandemic where you do live shows more than anything? It's like, well, so what has gone on is I've just kind of had to grieve what I was planning for 2020. I had a whole vision for it, and it took me a little bit to adjust to the idea that what I was dreaming up and what looked like was probably going to happen. Sometimes things happen out of our control, and just the bigness of all that was heavy on me for a little while, and it kind of hit me like a shock. And I think I was okay, I'm just gonna take a second to get my bearings. So I kind of took some time at first to do that, and now I'm kind of getting back on track with music, kind of making some plans again, and working on my solo stuff that I haven't really been doing anything for in a long time. So I'm making just solo pop music now with my producer Nick Fowler, and usually I go to St. John to work on music with him, and we don't do that now because of restrictions, but whenever we can I go, and we're working on a series of songs that I'm going to be putting together. Either it's an EP or an album. I'm not still
2021.
The concept is there. I've got it. I'm just waiting, and I'm planning everything right now. So
2021, you're going to knock out of the park.
That would be great if I could come back.
Brittany
solo again.
All right. Well, look, you're somebody who's talked openly about depression in the past, and you've used music to help in that. Just to ask you straight out, how does music help you with your mental health?
Okay, so music is it's kind of, I didn't realize this until this year, where I've had so much help in other ways, but throughout my life, before I knew, Brittany, you probably have depression, you have anxiety, before I knew, music was where I would go to process things. So how music helps with mental health for me is that it's a way to kind of get in touch with whatever's going on internally. And overwhelming emotions or like a lot of dark feeling or whatever, especially during the pandemic, you can kind of just sit down and try to write something. And I sit right here and I do that. And I don't know, there's something about writing music that it's like a sacred thing. And I often write things and I'm surprised at what I write because I learned something about what was really going on. I'm often like, what's going on? Why am I having trouble? It's like, oh, well, I'll write the lyrics and then I'm like, oh, what was that? And kind of think about it, and often my songs write me sometimes. And I've often gotten great insights from writing music. Not just the lyrics help, but also the music helps. Like hearing a melody that goes along with a mood or a feeling is amazing to let out. It's like an outlet of sorts. So,
Right.
yes. So, yeah.
Is Clouds a new one, or is it one that you've been holding on to for a while? Or?
I've been holding on to it. I wrote it in 2018.
Oh yeah.
And so it's not new, but with a song like that, you hold on to it and just kind of wait for the right situation, right time. And this was like perfect. So I'm really glad that it worked out.
Well, I'm, quite taken with it. It's, it starts, I think, rather neatly with, you use the word I through the first several verses, and it's, you're describing how you are feeling, what's happening. I could be another in this, and then it becomes we, and everything that person was feeling becomes we for somebody else. Is that. We're not broken. And first you sing it, I'm not broken. We're not broken. It's the idea to show, hey, we're all going through something.
Yes, that was the idea. The isolation that you feel with mental health problems can be overwhelming, like too overwhelming and dangerous, right? So when I first wrote that, I was, having a really hard time with depression, and I was just writing out how it felt, just not feeling happy, or like, why is it cloudy so much? And then I used a lot of imagery around, we live in the Maritimes and there's a lot of cloudy days here. And does it mean that, our little towns, our little communities are not warm places to be? No, but we have a lot of cloudy days and people get cranky. It's not like trying to make it funny necessarily, but it is kind of an interesting thought that a lot of people around here maybe do deal with depression, and maybe it is weather related. But there's also this kind of amazing thing that I heard around moods and feelings being like weather. So depression moving through people like a storm sometimes, or just that kind of imagery is really powerful, because it doesn't mean that it's weather. It comes and goes, right? It's not you. It's something that's happening. It's like resting with you, and if it's there and you're getting soaked in the rain or whatever, or you're not getting the sun, that is happening to you, but it's not you. It's not who you are. So right. I think that's really important. And the imagery with the flowers of like, we're all a flower bed. Like we're all kind of bending, sensitive souls sort of bending in these wild winds, right? But it's like, we're all doing it together, and we bend over and then we get right back up again.
I love it. It works at about 8 different levels, that metaphor.
I was just going wild with it. I think, it was healing to write that song. So
yeah. Well, my favorite line is the last line, which is the sun exists beyond the clouds, which is, another thing we keep in mind. Just because it's cloudy doesn't mean it's not sunny too.
I know it. Yeah, it's sometimes annoying. It's like, well, why isn't it sunny here? Can't we just part the clouds? But no, that's right. The sun is still there. If you can't see it, it's still there. So,
do you get when you do perform, when there isn't, a worldwide pandemic, do you do you find people are able to take some strength and react well to to the message that you try and hand out in your shows?
Um, about mental health?
Yeah, or just about feeling better.
Sure. Yeah. So, yes, usually the last couple of years, I didn't say a lot on stage. So yeah, I think the overall vibe that I try to do or try to bring to shows is one of like, be yourself and you're all right. Like you're okay, as you are. We're all human and, just thrive, whatever thriving means for you. And, yeah, I think, especially when I'm like, whenever I do talk about it during shows, people will come up afterwards and they'll say, I never felt like I could talk about mental health before. That's happening less now, but it's happening a lot when I first started doing it in 2017. And it's, that's not even that long ago. There's been a lot of change, I think, with mental health. But yeah, people are like, oh, someone else, like, thanks for saying that, because I thought it was just me, or I was like really embarrassed. I'm like, no, you don't need to be embarrassed at all about, depression, anxiety, whatever. It's just like being alive, it's like being embarrassed, like that you breathe or wake up. Like it's not everybody goes through it. I guess that is the one difference, but
Yeah.
enough people do that it's nothing to be ashamed of. So
Great.
keep talking about it. So, yeah.
So are you going to use this one on your new EP or new album or whatever comes, or is this
Depends
just
on-
for us?
I don't know. This is a good question. Maybe when I can ask Lori. I don't know what the plans are around these releases, but yeah, I definitely could see continuing to use this song and
Right.
playing it live, and especially people are used to hearing it, having it live too would be really great. So yeah.
Well, if anything, we're getting a great taste of the new material coming from Brittany McQuinn. So thank you for that gift.
No
And
problem.
thank you for taking part. Really enjoyed the song.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lori, for all your hard work and for interviewing me today.
Well, Brittany, I'm your biggest fan, and like Bob, maybe you don't know this, but when we worked together at the CBC, I went through 2 situational mental health conditions that, Brittany, when you used the word embarrassed, I was embarrassed. Like while I was working there, nobody knew that I was behind closed doors on the floor trying to breathe out a panic attack. Like nobody knew that when I was working there. And, back in 2017 is when you and I met, Brittany. And I penned and told my story, my mental health journey at the Lieutenant Governor's house with you. Remember? Yeah, we both did it together. And, it really brought something out in me to be able to finally talk openly about it as well, about my mental health struggles. So I was fortunate to meet you, and we've done so many projects together, and this is just another layer of the projects we've done together. And I really look forward to, working with you more. And I am definitely your biggest fan.
No, thank you, Lori. I appreciate it very much. And I look forward to doing, more with CMHA in the future. I know we don't know what that looks like, but I'm here. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much for donating your song to Music for the Mind, for volunteering your time always when I come calling. And Bob, thank you again so much for volunteering your time to do these interviews and to kind of mentor me as I was kind of coming up with the idea to do this CD. Thank you both very much for supporting mental health.